Hello, Sean from the Pro Team here, and I'm going to talk you through this die on base reset with some cradling. So here you can see I'm strapping up the stone using the chain hoist, the I-beam, and the scaffolding to kind of get it up and out of the way. Now I'm going to start on the cradling rails, so getting that top layer of grass removed so I can get a better sense of what's going on, make sure that the stone's not broken. As you can see there, I use the Burke bar to just kind of wiggle it a little bit. Working from the ends again, I'll lift that stone out. When you work from the middle, it creates a risk of splitting the stone. Marble is also very fragile, so you want to be as careful as possible. This lot is on East Hill, right there at the bottom near the Women's Comfort Station in Jewish Flats. It's one of my first lots on East Hill. Finally, I'm working on the foot plate there. It was really close to the wall, so it was kind of completely sunk in under there. Luckily still intact though. So I'm setting up the string line now along the two stones that I had already reset, and using that guide to kind of create a 2-inch border around everything I do to give myself enough wiggle room when I get things set back into place. So for this project, I was really just bringing things up, so I didn't need to go too deep. What you can see me doing now is just leveling out that dirt that's under there. I'll use the tamp and some gravel to make sure that it gets as nice and steady as I want it. And then when I'm feeling comfortable, I'll raise that headstone back up and move it into that hole. And when I set that stone down, I set it on some wood to keep the base of that stone nice and clean. Now I'm stepping back and lining things up, making sure it looks right. Break down the scaffolding and get that out of my way, because sometimes that obstructs your view to see if things look correct. I'll also run a level along the backs and side of the stone to make sure everything looks great. And I really lucked out with this one. When I set it back, it was almost perfect. So now I'm moving on to the trenches for the cradling to sit back into. Again, just kind of getting a nice square hole so that when I pour the gravel and dirt back in, it's got a nice steady, even flow to it all. Using the tamp again to firm up the soil below, kind of shaving off the high points with that square shovel. And I'm not resetting each piece and then going on to the next one. I'm kind of doing it all at once. That's because if I reset one piece and then end up finding out that it doesn't sit right or the measurements were incorrect, I'll have to go back and reset it completely. So I just use the gravel to kind of get things in place, running a level along both edges or both cradlings, and now using the rest of the gravel to really hold them in place. Now using that dirt that I took out originally, I'm going to pack these cradling pieces in, again using the tamp and sometimes a mallet in the kind of tight areas. And as I finish up, I'll take some photos, some after photos, and brush off the stones so they look nice. And then hopefully we'll have a volunteer cleaning day in the future, and we can actually come back over these stones with some D2 and try to remove some of that staining. And after that, we'll hand it over to Gardens, and they'll really put the icing on the cake, as David likes to say. Well, I just want to say thank you for watching, and follow us on Instagram at HOF Pro Team in Oakland Cemetery to see kind of all kinds of these updates as they go along.